ومراسليها في العالم. إذاعة الجزائر الدولية، صوتنا في العالم.
مع إذاعة الجزائر الدولية لن تفوتكم لحظة واحدة من الأخبار السياسية والاقتصادية الهامة. إذاعة الجزائر الدولية، صوتنا في العالم.
With Radio Algeria International, you will not miss a single major political or economic event. Radio Algeria International, our voice in the world.
This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
In his speech made on the occasion of the National Student Day, the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, emphasized that science and technology will enhance Algeria to the rank of developed countries. The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has extended his condolences to the first Vice President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Mr. Mohammed Mokhber, following the death of the President Ibrahim Raisi. Iran has announced a 5-day mourning following the death of President Ibrahim Raisi and 8 other people in a helicopter crash in the northwest of the country. As the UN Security Council is meeting today at the request of Algeria and Slovenia to examine the situation in Rafah, the Israeli army pursued its attack on the southern part of Gaza, killing and wounding scores of people. Those were the major developments. Now the full news edition. Good afternoon. The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has chaired at the Scientific and Technological Center in the new city of Sidi Abdullah in the suburb of Algiers the celebration ceremony of the National Student Day commemorating the 68th anniversary of the historic strike of May 19, 1956. More details in this report by my colleague Mohamed Khatel.
On this occasion, the President of the Republic inaugurated the Scientific and Technological Center, where he listened to a presentation made by the Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Kamal Badari, on this scientific building, which extends over an area of 87 hectares and which has 5 national higher schools providing training in different scientific specialties, including mathematics, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence, reflecting a quantum leap in the quality of education in Algeria.
حلم تحقق باش ندخل مباشرة في الأمن السيبراني، باش ندخل في النانو البحث، باش ندخل في الذكاء الاصطناعي وندخل في أمور مثل هذه. قفزة نوعية أعتقد أن القسط الوافر تاع النجاح يرجع للقطاع التعليم العالي ولطلبتنا.
To emphasize the importance of mathematics in the development of countries, as it is the essence of all sciences, the head of state pointed out to the decision of creating the National Higher School of Mathematics within the scientific and technological pole.
درنا المدرسة العليا الرياضيات حتى نرجع الرياضيات في مكانها الحقيقي. ما فيش علوم، ما فيش تجارب، ما فيش رقي أو ترقية صناعية وعلمية بدون الرياضيات. لازم نخلق جاذبية أخرى للرياضيات باش تكون هي المنطلق للمدارس الأخرى المجاورة نتاعها إن شاء الله.
At the end of the inauguration ceremony of the center, the President of the Republic, accompanied by senior state officials, visited the National Higher School of Artificial Intelligence and the National Higher School of Mathematics, where he assured the students of the support of the state, notably with regard to the financing of their innovative projects under the Forum of Startups and Micro-Enterprises, pledging on the occasion to support the project's fund to cover all the youth projects, while urging the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research to appropriately handle the matter.
الصندوق حتى ولو حاليا يبدو غير كافي، ما كان حتى مشكل السيد وزير المالية نظن موجود هنا، إذا نزيدوا ندعم الصندوق بما فيه كفاية لاحتضان كل مشاريع الشباب. نتمنى باش الوزارة الوصية نتاعكم وزارة التعليم العالي ووزارة المؤسسات الناشئة ياخذوا هذا الكلام بعين الاعتبار ويقوموا الشيء اللي تحتاجوه.
The President of the Republic welcomed the structures contained in this poll, which is intended to be an important achievement, in particular the higher schools, in addition to the fact that it is surrounded by a new town endowed with all the essential structures and necessary amenities, competing with the world's modern new towns, namely housing compounds, modern technological networks, service companies and commercial facilities.
أعتقد أن سيدي عبد الله والقطب ما أخذتش حقها لدى الإعلام الوطني. آسف جدا، لأن ما فيش مثال آخر في أي بلد في العالم. أعتقد هذه ما بين معجزات نتاع الجزائر المستقلة. كل شيء قضية إرادة، وحنا نشوف باللي اليوم الشباب تاعنا له الإرادة الكافية باش نمشي إلى ما أبعد مدارس فريدة من نوعها في إفريقيا، البعض فريدة من نوعها في العالم العربي. نتمنى أبنائنا باش يقدروا المجهود نتاع الوطن، وباش من هنا تكون الانطلاقة نتاع الجزائر المنتصرة نهائيا.
President Tebboune affirmed in his speech during the celebration ceremony of the National Student Day, organized under the theme The Algerian Student from Resistance and Liberation to Science and Construction, that the figures recorded in the sector of higher education and scientific research constituted proof that Algeria had taken gigantic steps in this area, calling on young people and students to continue walking on the path of progress and development to elevate Algeria to the rank of developed countries in terms of scientific research, which should be used wisely in the field of defense, economic and agricultural fields.
العلمي رفيع المستوى، لأن القطب هو اللي ربما سترتكز عليه الجزائر لدخول حقيقة في القرن 21 وبداية تحضير القرن 22 مع أبنائنا علماء الغد إن شاء الله، مبتكري تقنيات في الدفاع، في الاقتصاد، وفي كل ما تستنفع به بلادنا.
President Tebboune stressed that the ability of students to acquire sciences and knowledge and to master modern technologies reflects the state commitment to promoting the education system, training and teaching in general, recalling that Algeria had a minimal number of students following independence, with higher education concentrated in Algiers. The President of the Republic indicated that the country now has 115 universities and 1,650,000 students, supervised by 72,500 teachers and researchers, in addition to 30 scientific research centers for 2,250 researchers.
إن قناعتنا بقدرة طلبتنا وشبابنا على امتلاك العلوم والمعارف والتحكم في التكنولوجيات الحديثة مستمد من مسؤولية الدولة الساهرة على التكفل بمنظومة التربوية والتعليم والتكوين. فمؤسساتنا الجامعية بالغ عددها 115 يؤمها اليوم أكثر من 1,650,000 طالب، ويؤطرها ما يقارب من 72,500 أستاذ وباحث، ويبلغ عدد مراكز البحث فيها 30 مركز ب 2,250 باحث.
Emphasizing the importance of raising Algeria to the rank of developed countries in the field of science and technology, the President of the Republic expressed the wish to open the higher schools in Algeria to African brothers while keeping the children of Algeria in the country.
أهلا وسهلا، شكرا لك الاهتمام بهذا الشباب وهذه المدرسة، ونتمنى إن شاء الله باش انتم تكونوا الركيزة والسبب في إعادة انطلاق الجزائر، جزائر الأبحاث، جزائر العلوم. بالطبع الأساس تاع الأبحاث والعلوم كلها هي الرياضيات. نتمنى اليوم بالتجربة تاعكم هذا الجيل هذا نربيوه باش يبقى في الجزائر، باش نبنيو عليه، نفتح الباب حنا لأفريقيا ونفتح الباب للعالم اللي يحب غدوة يجي يدرس في هذه المدارس مرحبا به، ولكن أولادنا نشدوهم.
Welcoming the fervor of young Algerians in protecting the country against cyber attacks and warding off any ill-intentioned party that targets Algeria, President Tebboune affirmed that Algeria will know, thanks to artificial intelligence and the consciousness of its young people, start with a new lease of life capable of raising the nation to highest levels.
الحقيقة هذه هي الركيزة الحقيقية دروك من بعد الاستقلال لوضع الجزائر في مكانتها الحقيقية علميا واختراعا واقتصاديا ودفاعيا والى اخره. انتم الركيزه. اول مدرسه الذكاء الاصطناعي في افريقيا وفي العالم العربي. نفس الشيء بالنسبه للروبوتيك، نفس الشيء بالنسبه للرياضيات، نفس الشيء يعني بدون ما ننسى الثقافه نتاعنا، ادب غير الادب والفلسفه، ولكن الدفاع نتاعنا ومستقبل بلادنا حتى نزيل نهائيا كل الاطماع نتاع الناس اللي تربسين بلادنا، وهذا الشيء اللي كنت نتخرج فيه ان شاء الله.
نأمل نكونوا بقدر المسؤوليه ان شاء الله.
ان شاء الله. انا عارف فيه ناس ربما يخموا باش يفرغوا المؤسسات كما فرغوا لنا في الماضي مؤسسات اخرى اغراءات وكذا، ولكن انا كل يقين الجيل الحالي الروح الوطنيه نتاعو تساوي الروح الوطنيه اللي انطلقوا بها اجدادنا وابائنا في حرب التحرير. نفس الشيء، نفس الشعار بنا فيه نفس الحماس وفيه نفس الروح الوطنيه.
Meanwhile, the President of the Republic recalled the sacrifices of Algerian students, considering that the strike of May 19, 1956, staged by Algerian students who also joined the ranks of the glorious War of National Liberation and the armed struggle, had put a definitive end to the dreams of the colonial power regarding the sustainability of their presence in a land whose people were determined to overcome aggression.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad, Mr. Ahmed Hattaf, has received here in Algiers the special envoy of the French President to Libya, Mr. Paul Soler, who paid a working visit to Algeria. During the meeting, the two men exchanged views on the developments in the region and on prospects to reach political solutions to the crisis threatening peace and stability in the region away from any foreign interference. The Minister of Energy and Mines, Mr. Mohamed Erkab, is paying a two-day working visit to the Republic of the Congo to broaden joint prospects of bilateral cooperation and to examine ways of developing them in various fields, notably in the field of energy and mines. At the invitation of the Republic of Congo's Minister of Hydrocarbons, Bruno Jean-Richard Itoua, the Energy Minister, Mr. Erkab, is paying a working visit to Brazzaville, the capital of the Republic of the Congo, accompanied by the Chairman and CEOs of the Sonatrach and Sonelgaz groups, as well as the Chairman of the National Agency for Mining Activities and other executives from the sector. The visit is part of the efforts made to strengthen the historic brotherly relations between the two countries, to broaden the prospects of bilateral cooperation and examine ways of developing them, notably in the field of energy and mining. During his visit, Mr. Erkab will be meeting with several Congolese officials, including the Minister of Hydrocarbons and the Minister of Energy and Hydraulics. The Secretary-General of the Ministry of Energy and Mines, Abdelkrim Awisi, has examined here in Algiers with the members of the Russian company delegation Zarubinets-Neft the investment opportunities in hydrocarbons, notably in the oil field development and equipment manufacturing. More details in this report by Majid Mila.
A communiqué issued by the ministry indicated that a meeting led by the company's Vice President for Business Development, Director of International Project, Terenti Ev Yukislav, took place in the presence of the Ambassador of the Russian Federation to Algeria and senior ministry officials. During the meeting, emphasis was put on means of strengthening cooperation relations and partnership in the field of exploration, development and exploitation of hydrocarbons. The two parties discussed also the existing relationship between Sonatrach and the Russian company, as well as the prospects of its development, mainly through the Memorandum of Understanding signed between the two companies within the framework of the new hydrocarbon legislation. The meeting focused as well on local production of oil and gas industry equipment, promotion of local product in addition to reducing gas emissions and carbons.
The Minister of Hydraulic, Tahad Erbad, is taking place in the 10th World Water Forum, which opened today in Bali, Indonesia. More details with Majid Mila.
The forum, held under the theme "With a Good Water Management, we can achieve prosperity together and for all," which aimed to discuss current challenges linked to water and sanitation management. The four-day event is bringing together heads of state and government ministers, senior officials, partners and experts, as well as representatives of civil society, will serve as an appropriate framework where the water community and policy makers can collaborate and make long-term progress on global water challenges. The Hydraulics Minister will meet with several of his counterparts to discuss current issues related to water management, considering that Algeria constitutes being a key partner in the area at the regional and international levels. The international event will also be an opportunity to present Algerians' pioneering experience in water management and the development of water resources to ensure a safe access to water through the implementation of mega projects, including the seawater desalination, the use of inter-regional water transfers, as well as the reuse of water of treated water. The forum offers the opportunity to raise awareness of the importance of protecting ecosystems and efficient water management, in particular highlighting Fogaras, this ingenious ancestral water-saving irrigation technique. Outside the World Water Forum, the Minister of Hydraulics, Tahad Erbad, has met with the Saudi Minister of Environment, Water and Agriculture, Abdulrahman bin Abdul Muhsin Al-Fadli. During the meeting, the two parties discussed the prospects of strengthening bilateral cooperation. They also underlined their hope to further strengthen relations between the two countries in several areas of common interest.
The 128th session of the Board of Directors of the Arab Iron and Steel Union is taking place here in Algiers to examine ways and means of achieving cooperation and integration in the Arab steel industry. During the two-day session presided over by the chairman of the Board of Directors of the Arab Iron and Steel Union, Mr. Alwad Al-Khaldi, the participant examined the progress of the iron and steel industry in the Arab world, as well as the final budget for the 2023 financial year and the 8th report of the Economic Commission. They also examined the report by the Technical Commission, the preparation for the 70th Arab Steel Summit, and the exhibition scheduled to take place from October 14th to October 15th in Qatar, and the membership application of the Iraqi Public Iron and Steel Company. And now the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has extended his condolences to the first Vice President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Mr. Mohammed Mukhbar, following the death of the President, Ibrahim Raisi. The President of the Republic said he followed with great sadness and deep grief since the first hours of the news of the tragic death of President Ibrahim Raisi, expressing his sympathy and solidarity to the political leadership, the government and the people of the brotherly Islamic Republic of Iran. President Tebboune stressed that he personally lost a brother, a companion with whom he had shared the bonds of brotherhood, cooperation and solidarity between the two countries and peoples, and the support to just causes defended by our Islamic nation. Iran has announced a 5-day mourning following the death of President Ibrahim Raisi and 8 other people in a helicopter crash in the northwest of the country. The announcement was made by the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The Iranian Red Cross announced Monday that rescue workers had recovered the remains of the Iranian president and 8 other passengers on board the helicopter, including Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian. Ibrahim Raisi was on his way back after inaugurating a dam in the province of Eastern Azerbaijan, accompanied by his Azerbaijani counterpart Ilham Aliyev, on the border between the two countries. The IRNA news agency indicated that in addition to the president and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the governor of the province, as well as the main imam of the region, were among the passengers of the plane. World leaders have expressed condolences after Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi died in a helicopter crash. Iraqi Prime Minister Shia al-Sudani expressed in a statement his country's solidarity with the brotherly Iranian people and the officials of the Islamic Republic during this painful tragedy. For his part, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov expressed condolences after the death of two top officials he called reliable friends of Russia. Chinese President Xi Jinping called the tragic death of Raisi a great loss to the Iranian people, and the Chinese people have lost a good friend, according to China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The President of the European Council, Charles Michel, expressed the bloc's sincere condolences for the death of Raisi, Amir Abdullahian, and other Iranian officials who died in the crash. The Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, expressed his condolences to the people of Iran, and Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan expressed condolences and said Ankara had been in contact with Iran since hearing about the crash on Sunday. As the UN Security Council is meeting today at the request of Algeria and Slovenia to examine the situation in Rafah, the Israeli army pursued its attacks on the southern part of Gaza, killing and wounding scores of people. The news agency Wafa quoted local sources as saying that shells were fired by the Israeli army against town's southeastern sector, which was also hit by missiles. The Israeli attacks targeted all the parts of the enclave, including the southern town of Khan Yunis, as well as the northern area of Jabalia. According to the UN, about 800,000 Palestinians have been forced to flee Rafah on account of the Israeli army operations in the area. This came as the situation in Rafah would be at the center of a meeting of the UN Security Council requested by Algeria and Slovenia. Algeria's contents efforts at the UN Security Council have been hailed by the representative of the State of Palestine to Algiers. Addressing a conference held here on the current situation in Gaza and on its repercussions on the future of the Palestinian, he had this to say.
Algeria's draft resolution to recognize the state of Palestine or to recognize the Palestinian state's right to UN full membership. The draft resolution secured 12 votes, including for the first time major countries, notably France, who voted in favor. We consider the decision a victory. We know and we realize that pressure had been put on it, and it was requested from Algeria to reconsider its move.
In another development, the International Criminal Court (ICC) has issued an arrest warrant against the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for war crimes and crimes against humanity. In a communiqué issued today, the ICC said that it has a reasonable motivations on the basis of the evidence collected and examined by its office. It held the penal responsibility of war crimes and crimes against humanity perpetrated in the Gaza Strip. The African Continental Free Trade Area (AfCFTA) is one of the flagship progress of the African Union Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. In its high ambition trade agreement with a comprehensive scope that includes critical areas of Africa's economy, such as digital trade and investment protection, amongst other areas. The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, emphasized in this respect the need to mobilize human, technical and financial resources to carry out development projects on the African continent. Saïd Bourazi tells us more in this report.
By eliminating barriers to trade in Africa, the objective of the African Continental Free Trade Area (AfCFTA) is to significantly boost intra-Africa trade, particularly trade in value-added production and trade across all sectors of Africa's economy. The AfCFTA is the world's largest free trade area, bringing together the 55 countries of the African Union and 8 regional economic communities to create a single market for the continent. The aim is to enable the free flow of goods and services across the continent and boost the trading position of Africa in the global market. As part of its mandate, the AfCFTA is to eliminate trade barriers and boost intra-Africa trade. In particular, it is to advance trade in value-added production across all service sectors of the African economy. The AfCFTA will contribute to establishing regional value chains in Africa, enabling investment and job creation. The practical implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement has the potential to foster industrialization, job creation and investment, thus enhancing the competitiveness of Africa in the medium to long term. The President of the Republic, Abdelmadjid Tebboune, called in this respect for a consolidation of efforts to achieve continental economic integration. He called for a speedier implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. President Tebboune also underlined the importance that Algeria attaches to investment in basic infrastructure. He cited the examples of the Trans-Saharan Road linking 6 countries, the Tindouf-Zouirat Road between Algeria and Mauritania, and the fiber-optic backbone. President Tebboune also mentioned the Trans-Saharan gas pipeline and national railway development projects that could be extended to neighboring countries like the Trans-Saharan Road. The African Continental Free Trade Area entered into force on May 30, 2019, after 24 member states deposited their instruments of ratification following a series of continuous continental engagements spanning since 2012. It was launched at the 12th Extraordinary Session of the African Union Assembly of Heads of State and Government in Niamey, Niger, in July 2019. The beginning of trading under the African Continental Free Trade Area was on January 1, 2021. 54 African Union member states have signed the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Only Eritrea has not, and 47 have ratified it. At present, the non-state parties are Benin, Eritrea, Liberia, Libya, Madagascar, Somalia, South Sudan, and Sudan.
That's it for our news bulletin. I invite you now to listen to a special program, a cultural program dedicated on Jabal Isa by my colleague Jamil Silmani.